Welcome to this presentation. In this presentation, let us have an insight of reflex klystron. The reflex klystron is a single cavity velocity modulated tube in which single cavity does the functions of both buncher and cavity resonators. So it is a specialized low power vacuum tube used to produce oscillations at micro frequency. Its principle of operation is velocity and current modulation. As we know, to design an oscillator, a positive feedback will be required to the input in a way to have a magnitude of loop gain as unity. So if we design a klystron oscillator using two cavity klystron, then to have a change in oscillating frequency, the resonant frequency of the two cavities is also required to be changed, thereby leading to cause difficulty in generating oscillations. Thus, to overcome the disadvantage, a reflex klystron having a single cavity was invented to have sustained oscillations at micro frequency. Like two-cavity klystron, a reflex klystron utilizes the phenomenon of velocity and current modulation to produce oscillations. It consists of a single cavity that performs the action of both buncher and catcher cavity. So as to have oscillations, feedback is needed to the applied at the input, which is provided by the oscillator. While moving electrons undergoes velocity modulation and the repeller applies repulsive force on them, and this leads to the formation of bunch of electrons. Further, this bunching will lead to cause current modulation. So this diagram shows the schematic of the reflex klystron. It consists of an anode cavity, resonator filament surrounded by the cathode, an electron gun, and an electrode, also called a reflector electrode. The reflector electrode is placed at a shorter distance from resonator grid and is at negative potential with respect to the cathode. The electron beam is modulated when passed through the anode cavity, and the electrons travels towards a repeller electrode after passing through a gap in the cavity. So because of this high negative field, the electrons never reach at reflector electrode and are turned back towards the gap on their return journey. The electrons give more energy to the gap and the oscillations are sustained. So it consists of, as I said earlier, it consists of a cathode and a focusing anode that combinedly act as an electron gun for the tube. The cathode emits electron beam which is focused inside the tube by the focusing anode, and also a positive potential is provided as the input which sets up an electric field inside the cavity. So as it is a single cavity structure, thus single cavity acts as buncher and catcher cavity separately. At the time of forward movement of the electron beam, it acts as buncher cavity, while at the time of backward movement, it acts as a catcher cavity. A repeller plate that causes the backward movement of the electron beam is present at the opposite end of the electron gun. The potential at the repeller is made extremely negative in order to permit a repulsion of like charges. So repulsion is here necessary in order to build electrical oscillations, as output power must be fed to the input. So the velocity of modulated electrons must have to travel a backward path in order to provide feedback. Thus, a repeller is used in the structure of the klystron. Now let us see the working of reflex klystron. Initially, when the electron beam is emitted by the electron gun, then the early electrons, that is EE, experience a very high potential. Due to this, a strong electric field gets generated inside the cavity gap, leading to cause movement of electrons towards the repeller with a very high velocity. Due to high velocity, the electrons penetrate deeper into the region of the repeller and thus require greater time to repel back towards the catcher cavity. But when the externally applied potential is almost zero, then electrons moves with the uniform velocity with which it was emitted by the gun. These electrons are generally known as the reference electrons, ER. So in this case, ER will not penetrate deeply into the repeller surface and gets repelled by the repeller in lesser time than the electrons. So further, the electrons that is emitted by the gun after the reference electron experiences highly negative potential at the cavity. This electron is generally known as the electron EI and moves with a very low velocity inside the tube. The penetration level of the late electron into the repeller space is least, thus takes a minimal amount of time to get repelled back. So it is to be noted that due to deep penetration into the repeller region, EE will take more time than ER while returning towards the catcher. This change in velocity of moving electrons is known as the velocity modulation, and due to this velocity modulation, all the electrons gets bunched while returning towards the catcher cavity. So in this way, bunch of electrons reaches the catcher cavity, and this bunching of electrons leads to cause current modulation inside the tube, and therefore at the time of returning, The bunched electrons transfer the maximal of their energy to the catch-up cavity and thereby leading to cause oscillations inside the tube. So the electron which passes through the gap after the reference electron is known as late electrons, and it exhibits the maximum negative potential on it and moves with the retarding velocity. The return journey of the EL is much shorter than EE and ER electron because of the less penetration into the repeller space. The late electron catches up with the reference electron ER and early electron EE to form a bunch. The bunching of electrons occur once per cycle centered around the reference electrons ER, and these bunches transfer the maximum energy to the grid gap. Due to this energy of grid gap, the oscillations are sustained in the cavity resonator. Now let us see the transit time effect. The time taken by the electrons to travel from towards the reflector electrode and return back to the grid gap is known as the transit time. That is the time taken by the electron to return to the cavity gap, right? So for sustained oscillations to take place, transit time is the most important factor. Basically, the optimum time for leaving the gun is centered around the reference electron, which is considered at 180 degree phase difference from the sinusoidal applied potential across the gun. The most optimum departure time is centered around the reference electron, which is at 180 degree phase difference from the sine wave voltage across the resonator gap. The cavity resonator gives up energy, is accelerating the electrons, and gains energy, is retarding electrons. When the positive gap voltage will apply the maximum retardation to the electrons, then it is the best time for electrons to return towards the gap. This causes the electrons to fall through the negative voltage between the gap, and giving up maximum amount of energy to the gap is at the 90 degree phase difference from the sine wave of the gap voltage that we will see in the appliqued diagram. And the reference electrons must remain in the reflecting field space for a minimum of 3/4 cycle of a grid field for maximum energy transfer. The reflex electron will continue to oscillate if the electrons remain in the repeller field longer than 3/4 cycle. And the effect of repeller field on the electron bunch for 3/4 cycle and for 1/3/4 cycle is the optimum transit time should be T is equal to n plus 3/4, where n is any integer. So the difference in transit time such as 3/4 and 1/3/4 and 2/3/4 causes a change in performance characteristics of the reflex klystron. So the reflex klystron operates in different modes for different characteristics caused by transit time. So mode 1 is nothing but a reflex klystron operate in this mode when the repeller voltage produces the electron transit time of 3/4 cycle. And mode 2 is reflex klystron operate in this mode when repeller voltage produces an electron transit time of 1/3/4 cycle. And mode 3 is obtained when the repeller voltage produces an electron transit time of 2/3/4 cycle. So the choice of mode is determined by the difference of power available from each mode. The mode 1 gives the larger power output, but voltage requirement is also higher, which affects the efficiency of the reflex klystron. So mode 2 and mode 3 are most widely used in practical. So this diagram, appliqued diagram, shows the bunching process, and the bunching process of return journey of all three categories electrons, that is E, ER and EL. And that is early electrons, reference electron and late electrons, right? Here the x-axis represents the time and y-axis shows the distance traveled by the electrons inside the tube. As I have already discussed, that bunching takes place at the time of the return journey of electrons. Thus, it is represented in this figure that though EE, ER and EL are approaching the repeller with different velocities, yet while returning, all of them are bunched at respective time. And the main applications of reflex klystrons are, they are used as oscillator and thus finds applications in local oscillators, receivers and radar receivers and radio receivers, and also utilized in single source of in microwave generators and pump oscillators of parametric amplifiers. And the operating characteristics, that is the repeller and the anode voltage must be adjusted such that the bunch appears exactly at any of the positive maximum voltage of the RF signal. This is necessary for reflex klystron to undergo into oscillations. Only certain combinations of anode voltage and repeller voltage, the oscillations are developed. So, and the shaded portions of the particular diagram to oscillations for suitable repeller and the beam voltage combinations. Lower modes gives larger power output but requires larger values of repeller and beam voltage. Usually modes corresponding to n is equal to 2 and n is equal to 3 will be performed. And the electronic admittance of the reflex klystron is defined as the ratio of the current induced in the cavity by the modulation of the electron beam to voltage across the cavity gap. That is Y is equal to I2 divided by V2, which is given by I0 by V0 into beta I square theta naught dash by 2 into 2J1 of X dash by X dash into e power j pi by 2 minus theta, where I0 is the beam current, V0 is the beam voltage, and beta I is the beam coupling coefficient. Theta naught dash is the transit angle of bunch electrons, and J1 is the current density, and X dash is the bunching parameters proportional to signal voltage. And the main characteristics of flux electrons are its operating frequency ranges from 4 GHz to 200 GHz, and its output power is from 10 milliwatts to 2.5 watts, and its efficiency is 25%, and bandwidth is plus or minus 25 megahertz. Thank you.